Okay, and there guys, just the install video here for the newer BT-50, like Mazda 2019 onwards, I guess, to around about where we're at now, 2025. There's a couple of different models depending how big your screen is. This one will cover this model here. So if it looks like this with your buttons hanging down and the screen's actually small, this will be the one for you. So that's your factory radio, so you won't have the slow boot anymore. I think these have wide CarPlay, so you're gonna have that. Cool. Not much going on there, so all good. You're gonna get a good upgrade, and your factory option's still gonna work, like steering wheel controls and your reverse camera, and we'll go from there. So, taking these out, we're gonna put one out of these in the kit. It's a little hook tool. And what you want to do is you want to just open the glove box in here and get the hook tool in behind. I've already pulled this one out, but in behind this top corner up here. So it's basically going to stick at the back of here. And you're going to go pull, 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 like this like a few times. And you'll actually hear it go like click. And then after out of that, you can actually take this tool along the top and go in and pull, pull, pull. You can lift up that just a fraction to slide this in. Pull, pull, put it back in. At the back, pull, pull, put it back in, pull, 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 all the way along. Now the hack with these sort of like plastic trim things is you kind of give it, it's kind of like a jug, 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 jug. Don't just go reef, it's just like small, actually constant like ones, and for some reason that seems to like work. Then you're gonna get to this side here, and you're gonna get like this corner, again into here, pull. This corner can be a bit extra tougher, but these are pretty strong, and I'll show you in a second. The fascia can handle a few pulls, so pull, pull, pull. That'll all come out, and then you'll probably end with the top bit pretty much like hanging out like that. And then you want to come down and get the actual bottom part off. There's clips in the bottom there, and so you can get a trim tool up under here and go just like that again, like lever, 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 around the whole way, and then you'll get to the point where this thing slides out and you've got a couple plugs that we're going to pull off, and I'll show you how they come off, but they're pretty much just push down something and go from there. Let me just kill that. And that is the fascia off. Now those plugs just had a push down tab here, push and pull out, and on here push and pull out, and they were on the back. And you can see that's where I was like pulling the actual tool on. So you might leave a little like mark on there, but that's okay because it's completely at the back. You're never gonna see it. And again, I like pulled along the extra back of here. Again, tiny little like extra, I guess like extra dents in there, but again, never gonna see it. All the way along, and I did the other corner too. And that was that. And then you can see down the actual bottom, you have these like clips. And that's why they're a bit hard to come off. We will include some spare clips in the kit too, because what normally happens is they'll either get stuck in here or you pull them and they flick down the back. So you can get these like back out, try and get your actual like pick tool in there and pull them actually like back out. Otherwise we are going to include some in the kit. So that's how you get that out like so. Then you just got a few screws in here. Phillips screws that just need to come out. And then that just slides out, and the back of here, again, lots of plugs with a little tab you push down the top to unplug them. Push down and pull them out. If you find one's a bit stuck, try and push it all the way back in and then push the tab down again to get it out. It seems to be what works as it gets halfway out and jammed. Now I just do notice these are very sharp, so you might need, if you're struggling to get these out, don't just let it hang down, put a piece of cloth down there because you don't really want to scratch your dash. There we go, those are all them out. So those are all the plugs out and they were all pushed down on top. I just got these, I poked these back through these clips and they actually come out. And the back one come out there. So that's all of that out now. So we've got our harness here, got our actual head unit. I've put in our camera cable and our Bluetooth antenna. This Bluetooth antenna, there's another one that will fit in this plug too that has RCAs out, but that's only if you're gonna run an aftermarket amp. So majority of people are gonna get this. And then we're gonna grab our plug here and we're gonna plug our plugs in. The good thing about these utes is they're still quite actually basic in terms of they don't have CAN bus and stuff going on. The plugs should only really go where they can fit. So I'll show you, these are all the plugs we had, right? So some of these we won't be being used because, and I'll show you the ones we won't. I almost forgot these, I was thinking there must be some extra. So that's what I've plugged in, right? So these are the ones we have left over that were like, oh, what are these for? So this one here is gonna be like our USB retention, so that'll keep the USB happening. And then the other ones, well, one of these will be like a DAB or a GPS antenna. And then these two here, I have no idea, but we're not actually using them. I would assume one could be for handbrake and the other one could be for the internal mic on here, but we're gonna use our external one. Then basically, we just wanna power everything up and make sure it all works before you go too much further through. I'm just having a look on here. The amp wire, because we have a few things on this harness. This here's got like antenna amp on here. We've just obviously worked things out in the past that there could be a few different other actual options on the car. And obviously we try and make the harness do it all so we don't have to ship it back out. But, so this RCA is going to go into the purple cam in plug, like so. That was into there, we're happy with that. We'll put our antenna plug in for the radio, because it's always good to test AM works. And that's about it. Now I'm just going to turn the car on. And the things you want to check out, oh yeah, we've got power, always a good sign. We're going to go power, steering wheel controls, and reverse camera. And then we'll go from here. So straight away I'll go to the radio. So we got sound, that's good. Always do like an AM check. Because if you pick up a 1 AM station, you've got your antenna amp hooked up. So we're happy with that. Now we'll just throw it in reverse, make sure we get our trigger and our video. Trigger and video. The cameras actually aren't too bad quality on these cars. So we got that. Now steering wheel controls, because these cars don't have a CAN bus, what you're going to do is go into settings, car infotainment, down to steering wheel control here, SWC, push like volume up, then push the volume up, volume down. You see how it flashes, and then when I push the button it goes solid. That means it's all working. So I can go through and pretty much do them all. I'm just going to go through and do quite a few of them because I want to make sure they all do. See, so the mic's not doing anything at the moment, interesting. Then we got hang up and phone answer. And I'll put mode as the home button. Okay, so these 3 buttons down here at the moment aren't like working, but you can see the other ones are all good. Now, I'm just checking in here because we have a key, an extra key 2 wire floating loose. So there's a wire here called key 2 and a little black plug on it. And there's another one called key 2 and they fit together. So what we're going to do is plug those 2 together. And I'm hoping we've worked this out before. And if I do that now, we're on. So we have already worked that out. It was very strange what just happened then, but you can see I can learn them all now. I'm not 100% sure why it did that strange thing, but we're all good and on top. So that's everything all at work, and we can go and actually put all the wires in now and put this on the fascia. So on here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra Phillips. Take those out, this whole fascia will come off. Always keep the screen down and something soft. So that's the old one there. And then our new one basically does the same thing, but onto here. And there's a few screws in there that you'll be using to get it all happening. In our kit, some little black self-tapping screws, and they can go around just to screw that in, and they go into those 4 locations again. So put those actual 4 in and you should be good. All screwed in, and you can see how that's going to fit in the front. Now just going to put the other wires on. There's 2 USB retention cables in the kit. I'm guessing it's this brown one that we've custom made here to work. Or maybe not. Maybe it is this one. So when you get your one, just see which one actually fits, and you might just have to actually even try both of them just to make sure they actually work. So that's clicked in now. The USB retention, just make sure you get power or charge when you do plug it in, because it'll tell you that it is actually working all good. So we'll go through and test it in a second. Now we'll just see now we could get through into here easy enough. Spin them out down there. Now it's up to you where you're going to run some of these extra cables, but one of them, a single USB here, probably quite handy just to keep for our existing USB retention, so like that. We'll test that in a little second. You've got your GPS antenna. This just needs a clear view through a windscreen with no like steel above it. So as long as you're happy, that's just plastic up there, so that's all good. So we're going to stick that on. Doesn't matter how it goes up and on, it just needs to go up and on. And actually, oh perfect, there's a beautiful flat spot for it at the back there. Oh, it's got a little rib on it, not so good. Again, just like any 3M stick thing, give it a good push down for a bit. It's actually ended up right out the back there, which is good. This is the 4 RG antenna, and that's if you want to use actually like a SIM card in the unit. A lot of people don't, but just stick it in anyway, because you don't really want to have to take on the back out if you ever do want to use it. Or when you sell the car, maybe the next person will want to actually use that feature. So again, just stick it down somewhere so there's a good clear view of the sky and the dash like that. I've just gone again up underneath, and that is on. SIM card, again, link to the 4G. You might need it, might not. Best just to put it somewhere so you can get to it if you need to. But what I want to do is I'm going to try and see if we can run it. Oh yeah, perfect. I'm going to run it down, basically down here, and I'm just going to tuck it up under. So if you do need to get to it, you can. If you don't, you don't. But at least you don't have to pull the unit out if you ever do want to test out that feature or use that feature. And again, I suggest you use the cable puller. We include that. So grab the cable puller, but no idea why I always have to try and do it without using the cable puller. I think I can do it for some reason. So much faster, and then just feed that up from the bottom. Should come through pretty easy, like so. And we're actually going to run our 2 USB ones, an external mic, and this one here. It just means that everything, it's handy to get to down there if you do need it. You could also run it to the glove box. This glove box is pretty chocker, so I didn't bother. So, but if you do have an empty glove box, it is another option. And they'll just come up like so, and we can say yay. So that's everything apart from our external microphone, and that we will run. I'll show you. Microphone is up here, tucked into here with a trim tool. I just pulled this off. Came down here, used the cable pull to take it down to the bottom, and now I've used the cable puller tool to pull it back up behind here, and then it's going to plug into this jack here. Put a little bit of tape around a few bits. I like to tape all the antennas together, so GPS, 4G, AM, FM, and then I like to tape all the auxiliary plugs, I call them together. A bit of tape around your RCAs. You can tape it up like more than this or like less than this. It's up to you. At the end of the day, in this car here, that's going to drop back and sit down, so it's not too critical how you do it. And sometimes if you get too excited with tape, you don't leave yourself enough sort of playroom. So these are all going in now. Those are the auxiliary plugs in. Then the other ones along here are AM, FM, 4G and GPS, so that unit can run its own GPS feed signal, so you can run your own nav apps on here if you don't want to use your phone or whatnot. That's the base of it. We've put our clips back on. We do include some extra clips in the kit, so if you do lose a few, doesn't really matter too much. Now, obviously, as this radio is harder to pull out, you do want to just power it up. Make sure everything's working before you go and plug it in, and then we'll be good. So it'll like normally quick boot, unlike the old units, just because we've had no power. So again, we can get straight into
the compressed cement product.
Cool, got sound, got AM reception, reverse camera, beautiful. Then when you go to put the unit back in, you kind of know where all those clips are now, so you'll hear it all clip back in. And there it goes, all sitting in there, looking pretty awesome, and like a pretty nice factory fit. So you can see how that's sitting in there at the moment. Looking very good. So installs actually isn't too hard at all on here. After you understand, we worked out that the hook tool on the corners and up the top is the best way to get out these things. It's actually quite easy. I know people have had some trouble in the past with it, but not too hard at all once you're doing it the right way. So yeah, that's actually just a unit can just come out like so. So all done and looking good. Good upgrade for the BT-50 here.